Today, let's take a journey to understand why Facebook is changing its focus and what is the future that Meta, really wants to create. Since the announcement of changing their focus to build up the Metaverse, Meta platform's stock price have dived more than 60%, losing about $400 billion in market cap. So is it really worth the risk for this pivot? And is Meta an interesting stock to look at now? Before the name change, Facebook has been one of the most successful technology companies of our time. Of all the large tech companies around the world, Facebook is the youngest and have been founded back in 2004. And by September 2021, Facebook has managed to become the sixth company to ever reach $1 trillion valuation. Clearly, a company that can reach that kind of scale might be doing something right. And this means that the company's strategy or their business model are doing very well. And although Facebook suffers from reputational crisis every now and then, the business has always been growing very consistently. Facebook continued to grow during the pandemic, and it is clear that digital advertising will continue to grow and take market share away from traditional advertising outlets. In fact, Facebook achieved a record profit in 2021. Yet, it decided to completely change the focus of the company by the end of the year in their keynote address during their Connect conference. In that, they announced that they will be changing the company name to Meta Platforms and focus on building up the Metaverse. Then starting 1st of December, the company even changed their stock ticker in NASDAQ to Meta. This video is based on a report that we done in November 2021, and you can also enjoy reports on Meta and other companies on our premium member website. You can go to valueinvestation.com and click on Premium Club to find out more. But now, let's answer the first question in this video. What is a Metaverse? According to the presentation given by Mark Zuckerberg, he believed that the Metaverse is the next stage of progression for the internet. The internet will not just be about website and mobile app, photos or video. It will be able to create a full sensory experience for all of us around the world. And this technology can change the way how we communicate with one another, especially compared to the past century. For example, over the past century, from the beginning of telegraph, we took more than 100 years to move from just sending coded messages to transferring voice and posts on the internet. However, since the development of IT has really accelerated in the 1990s, and since Netscape, we have moved from just written posts to pictures to videos, and all this took us less than 30 years to develop. And Mr. Zuckerberg believed that the next stage of the future is the Metaverse. And the Metaverse means the possibility of what virtual reality and augmented reality can really do for us. So if you're a fan of science fiction movie, what Facebook is saying is basically movies like Minority Report or Ready Player One might no longer be science fiction after all. We can indeed create a virtual life within digital world. So get ready, play one. What needs to be done? Although the future can sound both exciting and scary at the same time, over the course of his presentation, Mark reiterated that we are still quite far away from that future. It might be a decade from now, even if we assume everything moves forward smoothly. But some of the key concepts within the Metaverse that he talked about is number one, having presence. Firstly, we have to be able to experience the environment as if they were real. So if we are in a virtual horror game, then we should be able to feel terrified in the environment. The feeling should be far more intense compared to just watching a horror film. Number two, avatars. We should be able to create a digital self within the Metaverse. It could be a detailed rendering of our physical self, right down to the scar in our body that we have, or it could be a digital avatar that best represents us. We should be able to switch between different avatars depending on the situation and maybe depend on our mood as well. Number three, natural interface. The technology that has to improve to a point where we can interact with the virtual world without bulky headsets or control. At the moment, its Oculus headset might be one of the lightest and most consumer-friendly headset around. Yet, there are still serious hurdles to how widely it can be accepted by the mass market. At least from my experience, the headset would not be very comfortable to wear over long periods of time, and motion sickness is a real issue for games and also environments where we have to move around. Facebook have shown that they are working towards devices like AR glasses and also using our fingers and gesture to interact with objects within the digital world. Number 4, home spaces. The digital world could become our second life. In a lot of ways, our social media already profiles a digital version of ourselves. But in the metaverse, we might be able to build on that by creating our own digital homes where we can design, decorate, and maybe furnish based on our preference. We will be able to invite our friends to our home regardless of where they are in the world. Number 5, teleport and interoperability. Facebook is not planning to build the entire metaverse by themselves. They envision an open source world in the metaverse, similar to the World Wide Web. So we should be able to access different worlds, games, and apps through their devices. Maybe it's similar to like having a browser. Just clicking on a link and I can zoom between Google, YouTube, Facebook, or Microsoft. So everything should work together regardless of what devices and platform we are on. There is not yet a standard protocol for all VR at the moment, but that might be something Facebook really want to push towards. Number 6, privacy and safety. You can imagine if the metaverse is to be open source and anyone can access it, then there will be a huge problem with privacy and safety. Just looking at the internet, the current form, hackers and spammers are really everywhere. Every day I get bombarded by spam messages, and you can just look at our comment section. And more critically, my account has even been compromised twice this year alone. So the internet is hardly a friendly place. If we want to create a second life on the metaverse, then privacy and safety will be a great concern. Facebook claims that they have learned from their past mistake and they're very focused on building a metaverse with privacy and safety in mind. That would be nice, but in an open source world, to have zero crime seems highly impossible. So it will be interesting to see how Meta can really navigate through this risk and educate us on basic safety tips on using the metaverse. Number 7, virtual goods and services. Now we come to the reason why Meta and many creators are excited about the metaverse. This is the key to the success and failure of metaverse. To encourage more developers to jump onto the bandwagon and build up the metaverse, the key incentive for them to ask is what can they do to make money from it? And the main source of revenue right now for developers might be games. Oculus Quest Store are now adding more and more interesting games every year. The success of games like Beat Saber is encouraging, and even game developer like Rockstar might be bringing Grand Theft Auto into the world of VR soon. However, the metaverse economy can be much bigger than that. If we start building out our digital life in metaverse, then we might end up spending as much as what we are spending here on the physical world. Maybe to furnish our digital home, we might even need to buy a car in the metaverse, or digital clothes, and many more. Company might start selling a digital version of their physical goods online. We're already seeing such activities in the NFT space, albeit in a much smaller scale now after the crash. Meta might want to be the platform where all these transactions happen. Maybe it wants to be the Google of the metaverse. So where is Meta platform now? The metaverse now is far from the scale that the company envisioned, including the VR headset that Facebook is selling. The global sales of VR headsets now is only around 5 million back in 2020. So to reach the scale of 1 billion people that Facebook expect, it will need far more work to be done. That being said, Facebook has really pushed the development of the metaverse significantly over the past few years. They now have a digital platform called Horizon within their VR world. It includes Horizon World, something like a digital home for the VR user. But it also includes Horizon room that can hold virtual digital meetings. And there are other activities within the VR world such as gaming, fitness, and learning as well. So to fully understand and believe in this version of the metaverse might require some imagination and faith on our part right now. But as mentioned, Facebook will need to overcome a few hurdles, both in the technological front and also convincing developers to start building into their metaverse. And there are also other competitors in this space. For example, Microsoft is very serious in creating VR and AR technology as well. And we have seen Google and also Apple trying to experiment with it as well. So can Mark Zuckerberg really succeed? I particularly like a quote from Mark during their keynote address. He said that we are a company that focuses on connecting people. While most other tech companies focus on how people interact with technology, we are building technology so that people can interact with each other. So although their product focus of the company is changing, the vision of the company remains the same. Facebook has always been a company looking for new ways to help people connect with one another. And it has shown that it is very good at creating products that many people like to use. Well, some people might argue that Facebook growth recently has really been coming from just Instagram and WhatsApp, both companies that they acquire instead of create. But when you look at the data, when Facebook acquired Instagram, it is an app with just 30 million users. Under Facebook, it has grew to more than 1 billion monthly active users today. WhatsApp also has a similar story. It has about 460 million users at the time when it was acquired. Today, it has more than 2 billion active users on the platform. So Facebook products are the most used product globally. The only other company that might have the same reach as Facebook is Google. And today, the company is on a same journey again. The good thing is that it is already a highly profitable and stable business coming from its traditional social media apps. And that business can generate enough resources for Meta to experiment something completely audacious. Mark Zuckerberg understands that running a business is very much like running a race. If you're not moving forward, you can be sure that others will overtake you over time. Today, the uncertainty for Facebook has definitely increased. The risk is higher, the profit might suffer for a while as they reinvest more into the metaverse. But Meta platform is also now at a crossroad. It can either reinvent itself and become the next Microsoft, or it can fade away like the Yahoo of tomorrow. So we have to see what Meta can really create for the future. Anyway, there you have it. Do you think that Meta has what it takes to succeed, and is the stock worth investing in right now? Share your thoughts with us below. If you've gotten value from the video, please give us a like and share it with a friend who you might think will benefit from it as well. You can also now enjoy reports on Meta platforms and other companies within our premium member website. You can find out more by going to valueinvestasia.com and clicking on Premium Club to find out more. Anyway, as always, my name is Stanley. Till we meet again, invest safely.